If you destroy or remove any of the street signs erected by the TCI 911 program, prepare to feel the full weight of the law, as the launch for the much talked about 911 emergency response draws closer for residents. Last night on the WIV talk show Eye on the TCI, 911 program manager Juliette Gooden and her supervisor Carla Cartwright made the announcement.
And it's going to be in legislation which is due to come out pretty soon, I hope, that will make it mandatory for you to display your house number and mandatory for a street sign to be up. And it also have penalties involved if somebody tears down a sign or defaces a sign. And the good thing about that is with the legislation, it means that if you decide to take a piece of your property and redevelop it and you're going to put roads in, at the point of submission of your plan, you have to submit the proposed names.
Also revealed on the informative primetime show hosted by Calceda Johnson was the fact that no one will be given preferential treatment once a 911 distress call is placed to the command center. Gooden explained.
For example, information that goes into a report. We have tracks where, for example, if an officer from the 911 center goes back into the report to look up somebody's information, it will tell us. So it means you have to have a good reason to go back into that information. So we have things in place that make sure that we can maintain that confidentiality, because we know once we lose the trust of the public, we've lost it. So it's important that we maintain that level of trust and basically just serve the community. We also have a component of the training that says, how do you deal with those people who want to tell you, well, I am somebody important, why don't you treat me differently? And the reality is that it doesn't matter whether you're the governor or the person who's sweeping the road, you're going to be treated exactly the same, that same level of confidentiality, respect, and I hope that, you know, the staff will continue that, you know, regardless of how long I'm here to oversee them, but I want that to be the whole emphasis on what 911 does.
The program manager also called on the public to continue supporting the establishment of the program financially and bear with them as they try to raise all the much-needed funds through fundraisers and public service announcements.
We've been given a substantial amount of donation, but as I said, the infrastructure that we would have liked to have had in place wasn't there. So it meant a lot of groundwork. And we're at a stage where the only reason we haven't yet opened the center for 24 hours is because we need to have that radio communication system. That is important. Let's give you an example. If the ambulance leaves the hospital now and we're trying to talk to them on a radio, we can't hear them. So they're kind of left alone. If they go to a scene and they need police assistance because somebody's attacking them, they have to take a cell phone, call the 911 center, then we have to call the police and get them to them. So we're trying to get that radio communication so that that kind of situation doesn't happen.
In closing, Gooden thanked the government for their support, but hinted that more could be done.
I would like to say that, let me answer that question this way. We have had a lot of, I guess, moral support from the different departments within the government service. Not only do we communicate with the governor's office, but we also communicate with the police department, which we fall under now for the time being. But there's also the licensing department and so on. So in essence, they're very supportive of the project. The governor's office has also made a contribution in terms of funding to the 911 project, which is extremely timely and well, I guess, much needed. So they've put their money where their mouth is and have always been there, because when we first started the process of asking for donations, we also had the governor's office working along with us to make sure that happened. So I can say that we have been given the kind of support that we need. We do need more, but to date, I think we can say that we've had that moral and financial support that we required.
For WIV4 News, I'm Tian Thomas.